Hi everyone, welcome back to E-commerce Success by Ad360. Today we're going to review the shop that we covered yesterday. The owner responded to the video and shared some additional information from the Shopify analytics. So we're going to look at their figures, the add to cart rate, the checkout rate and conversion rate. And we're going to see if we can get a better understanding of what's going on their website and give a few tips to help improve those conversion rates. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe to the channel, comment below what you think. Feel free to share your own website in the comments if you'd like me to analyze and give a few personalized tips. This video is brought to you by Ad360. Ad360 is the easiest way to start advertising all over the web in context relevant places on independent websites outside of Google and Facebook. And in just one click, you can get started with creatives generated automatically and retargeting set up all for you. And it's super easy, takes only a few minutes, and you have a whole advertising operation up and running for you. Okay, let's get into today's content. So I'm again in the Shopify community, and Group Alpha, the business owner that we covered yesterday, responded. So they said, thank you for the reply. The video was very helpful and I appreciate all the tips and support. So thank you very much for the kind words. It made my day when I got your response, and it's super important to me. That's why I make these videos, to help business owners be more happy, productive and successful. So thank you so much for sharing some feedback. So here's some additional information they shared. I'm running ads on TikTok, Instagram, only targeting women, only under a variety of baby interests. Here's some screenshots of my analytics. So responding to the comments, I was wondering if the audiences might not be accurately targeted enough, because there were, as a reminder, if you haven't seen yesterday's video, I will put the link in the description below. We looked at the website looks fine, it's baby products, it's great, the design is good, the products look qualitative, there is a story behind the store, so no big red flag, although we discussed a few small items yesterday, but there was a way below than average conversion rate. We didn't have the precise figures, now we have them. So let's take a look. So overall store sessions, 4,500 over 1 week. So that's about a bit more than 600 per day. But we see here some days you have more than 1,000. So okay. Then what do we have here? So total sales 1K, coming from 28 orders. So you have an average basket of a bit less than $40, which means I think people most of the time order only one product. That's something we can discuss another time, but I think usually a way also to increase your performance is not necessarily to increase the conversion rate, but to increase the average order value, by making sure people order multiple products, upselling, cross-selling, and this way, even if you're paying a high price to get a click and a website visitor and a conversion, if you're making more money for each conversion, you can make your ads more profitable. But that's maybe a topic for another video. Okay, here we see the source from social media: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. So we see the vast majority of people come from TikTok. So it'd be interesting to see why is that? Are you just spending more money on TikTok, or is the CPM lower or the CPC lower on TikTok? You have the same budget everywhere, but TikTok is bringing you more people. I've had mixed feedback from people running ads on TikTok. Some say it's super good, it's really great. Others are telling me these ads are cheap and they can bring in a ton of people, but they're not buying that frequently. So at the end of the day, you have to, it's good that you have different sources. And as I frequently say, it's better to have a targeted audience on multiple channels than a broader audience that you only reach in one channel. So I think you're doing things right, but I'd love to see more, data from each channel, how much you're paying, what's your CPM, CPC, CTR, all this kind of stuff, what messaging, where are people landing? Are they landing on a dedicated landing page? Do you have any of these, or do they just come to the homepage or product page? If you want to watch a video, I made several on this topic, so I'll link them in the description below, on why having a dedicated landing page might work better than just a landing page or the product page. Okay, if you want to share more detail privately, feel free to do so. Feel free to contact me and you can share more details. I'd be able to tell you, if there's, like a more specific issue with some of these advertising campaigns. Just from these figures, we don't really know, so we'll assume, as you told us, that these are indeed qualified people, that they should have an interest in the product. So you said, young mothers interested in, or women interested in baby stuff. So, okay, that sounds interesting. So we'll assume these are qualified people that should have an interest and would be potential buyers. So now let's look at the numbers. So here's the real deal. So here we have the conversion rate. So the overall store conversion rate is 0.33%. So that's way below than average. So indeed there is a problem here. As I said yesterday, the average conversion rate for US e-commerce websites is between 1% and 2%. So you're 3x to 6x below what you should be expecting. And so where's the problem coming from? So add to cart, you have 2.33%. So that's not great. That's not terrible. But I mean the average is between 4 and 8%. So you're 1x or 4x below the average, but it's less bad than the overall conversion rate. So let's assume this is okay, and this is something you could improve by either having more targeted ads, more finely, more accurate targeting, fine-tuned settings in your advertising account. And that's something I'd be happy to give you a hand for free. It's a service I provide to people that I help with these videos. I do that for free, no commitment. I just want you to be successful. So I'd be happy to take a look at your advertising accounts and see if there's something we can do to maybe increase that, to bring more qualified people. The second thing you can do is maybe make the website a bit more impactful. So yesterday we talked about a few things, and I'm super happy to see that you already made a few improvements. Let me open a new window. I'll come back to these two things afterwards. So you already made the website a lot faster to load. So that's fantastic. You see, it's much faster. It's a shame you removed maybe the big image, although I like this one very much. We don't know if it's you or your family, but we get the feeling I feel this image is a bit more personal than the one that was yesterday. I just think it's a shame to have removed the beautiful image. There might be there must be a way to find the right format and optimize the image so that you still have your big image that you had yesterday, but it loads quickly. The problem is not having too many images, it's the fact the image itself was poorly optimized. But there might be a way to work around with the same image that you had if you want to keep it. But it's super cool to see that you made changes so quickly. So I see you changed that. You increased the font size, so that's amazing. That's really good. You corrected the missing space here. So I'm super happy that in just one day you took to heart some of the tips I gave you and you made some changes. You removed the other image, which was a bit blurry. Again, I think it's better if you would keep it, but change the image or optimize it, make it faster to load, rather than just remove it altogether. But let's see how this works, right? Because I think the website loading speed being so fast now, it's great. And this might help reduce the bounce rate, people that leave immediately. And this alone might increase the add to cart rate. So I'd be interested in seeing that. Okay. One more thing is, I think you have too many of these pop-ups. Now, this is a matter of personal taste. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is, are these working for you or not? Are people actually clicking on that, subscribing or giving you their email or whatever? I think this is okay because this might be a bit light, but I also know some people are really, they feel aggressed, like when they see this pop up and they might leave the website immediately. And I made a video about the new Google policies where they say if you have like browsing interruptions like this with big pop-ups. So this first one I showed is more a problem compared to this one. This one wouldn't be considered intrusive according to the Google word. But the first one that we saw, this one, I don't have it anymore, but the big one on the screen, this would definitely be considered intrusive according to the Google standards. And they're going to start thanking the results of websites that use these on the search results page. Now, you might not be using Google search results and the SEO as much as ads in terms of an acquisition channel, so it may not be that important to you. But if Google is doing that, it's not just because they want to, it's because they notice that users really don't like this. And some users might leave immediately because of that. So there's a trade-off, how much are people more likely to buy because they have that 10% discount code, and how much of them are leaving altogether because they don't like these pop-ups. There's a trade-off. So my conclusion is you shouldn't listen to what I say. You should try maybe for a period of time, remove it, see if there's a difference in your figures, or do an A/B test, and depending on the source or the where they're landing, maybe try remove it in some places and see if there's a difference in your add to cart rates. Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention is if we look at add to cart and then checkout and then conversions, usually, just to simplify things a bit, there is like a 50% drop off at each stage. So if you have like 2% add to cart, you should have like 1% checkout and then 0.5% session converted. So you see that you have that respected somewhat between the reach checkout and the session converted. So this means if people reach the checkout, there's not actually a problem. So the problem happens before, between the moment they click here and the moment they actually go to the checkout. And for me, there might be two things. So one, I still think like you see, it's awfully slow to reach. I'm still not here, you see. So I don't know why. I don't know what's causing this, but I'd be happy to, take a closer look if you want to. But it's awfully low to load the checkout page. So there's a lot of traffic that might be lost in this process. Once people reach this page, the checkout page, from my knowledge and my experience, there's no problem, because it's very usual. You might do a lot of stuff. You will always have about 1/2 of the people leaving at this stage. So you go from 0.6% to 0.3%. So you're not losing that much here. So although the session converted looks super slow, the 0.33%, the problem is not really here. The problem is too few of the add to carts reach the checkout. So that's the first thing. I think it's too slow to load. And the second thing, and maybe you removed it from yesterday as well, there used to be yesterday when I browsed the website, there was another one of these big intrusive pop-ups that would show here that said again, oh, you have this 10% discount code. And I think this might cause people to leave. Now it looks like you removed it, or maybe because on the first screens I accepted at that stage, now I don't see it anymore. But having that pop-up that interrupts the navigation at that stage, that's really bad, I think. Even though you might think, okay, giving the discount code is going to increase the number of people that actually go through with the purchase. But we can see from your figures that, going through that last step is not the problem. You do have about 50%, 1/2 of people that reach the checkout that do purchase. So the problem is before that. So too few people that have something in the cart reach the checkout. And for me, so my number one tip would be increasing the load time of the checkout if you can. The second tip would be to really add this I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, see, there was technical error. That's a bit strange. Add this buy now button. So you have add to cart. I said that already yesterday. You should have the two buttons, add to cart and buy now. In my experience, websites that do that have a jump in their conversion rates, because there's one less step, right? And you have a ton more, people that reach the checkout process if you do that. Now again, don't trust my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Just give it a try and see if it works for yourself. But thank you so much for sharing your figures. I hope these additional few tips are going to be helpful for you. And again, if you want to dig deeper in some aspect, like how can we further optimize the loading speed of some pages, if you want me to review your advertising accounts and your marketing strategy and your campaign settings, I'd be super happy to do so. That's a free service, no commitment, no strings attached. I just want you to be successful, And when you do that, I hope that you'll consider using Ad360 to even broaden your success, accelerate your growth. And one last thing I really want to suggest is that you try retargeting. And retargeting is going to help bring back a lot of these people that have added something to their cart, but that haven't reached the checkout and haven't purchased. And you have a ton of these people. You see in this, we see you have 200 sessions almost here. So these 200 people that considered your brand and your product enough to put something in the cart, but not enough to purchase, you can bring a ton of them back through retargeting. Retargeting is the process of showing only ads to these very specific people. So these are like hyper-focused, laser-focused ads. So instead of trying to find the needle in the haystack and showing ads to everybody in the parents or baby segments, you're going to target people, show them specific ads with the products that they've seen and added to their carts until they come back and complete the purchase. And a good number of these people actually do come back. Studies have shown they need to be exposed several times to a product. Maybe some of them, they were browsing, they were adding some products to cart, they were window shopping online, and then they just closed by mistake your website, or they left, they had something else to do, and the next day they just forgot what's your website name. They don't remember because they don't know you very well. It's a new site, it's your new brand, so they just forgot entirely, and they need to be reminded and say, oh yeah, that product looks nice and didn't purchase it, maybe let me come back and have a better look. So I think retargeting for you would be a super important thing to do. Now maybe you already have retargeting enabled in Google and Facebook and TikTok, but you can actually do retargeting in many more places. There are hundreds of millions of websites, blogs, news sites on the web, mobile apps where you can do retargeting, and these are outside of the Google Display Network and outside of social media, and that's something that Ad360 can help you do. So in just one click, you can start both awareness and retargeting campaigns with Ad360. The technology takes care of everything, and will find the people that go on your website and show them ads in relevant context when they go on the website that talk about parenting and babies and baby clothing, and we're going to find those websites. We're going to focus automatically the budget on the website that bring the most visibility, the most traffic, and the most sales, so that your budget is yielding the best results possible. So if you want to learn more, I'd be super happy to have a discussion. There will be a link in the description to book a call. I'd be super happy to have a private one-on-one conversation where you can share even more data and figures if you'd like to. And I'd be super happy to give you a hand, help you, and then if you want to consider using Ad360, there's a 14-day free trial. The link is also in the description, so feel free to give it a try if you want to. Thank you so much for your time. I wish you again a ton of success. I hope you'll make it work. It does look like you're hardworking, making quick changes, listening to feedback. So that's fantastic to see. So I hope this value was again helpful to you, and hopefully you'll improve this conversion rate by applying the few tips I gave you. And I really wish you to be super successful. Thank you. Bye.